time it's going to stream the video so you can watch it online. So the goal of today's lecture is a little bit not related to the web scraping, but will be application of that. So like I said, my plan is to try to get licenses for Claude for all of you. That's in the works. And so I want to already introduce you into using it. So my hope today is to show you how you can set up Claude command line interface. How many of you have tried CLI before? You have. Good, good. Did you run it in Linux or Windows? Both? Good, good. I run it in Linux primarily. I know one student tried it on Windows. Today I will be doing Linux. So let's hope it goes through. But the idea, like, what have you used it for?
I run a small business.
Okay, so you maybe just set up like a server for like a web page or like a automation or something. Yeah, so it has a lot of usages. Basically, well, I'll tell you all about it, but like I'll do that as I set up some things. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to SSH into a server that I ask the system administrator to make. And this server is brand new. It's literally like fresh, like just got created. There's nothing in it. It's just Ubuntu 24, I think. Okay? So I'm going to SSH, and the server is called 789-1.unlv.edu, and I have two of them. One of them is my backup. And I got to put in the password. 1 second. And I will be changing the password after this class because I will be giving sudo to the server. So please remind me, Jesse, to change the password before we leave today. Okay, so you can see there's nothing on the home directory. It's a brand new clean server. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Claude command line interface. So I need just one command, which is like a little core command, I believe, but I'm going to pull it up from the documentation. Again, I personally have not tried running it on Windows PowerShell, but some of you have, right? And you found success. So it should be doable. So in my case, I'm going to be using the Linux one, which is curl, which basically is a command to pull from here the installer. So, and my backup is, if it doesn't work here, I'll just install it locally, man. Let's see what happens. We'll do that. So it's pulling the CLI. And of course, you're going to need a pro account for this. So yeah. Okay, so it's run. So now I have to run I think I do have to run this echo command to put it in my path file. This is so that I can run the Claude command from everywhere, I believe. If I recall, that's what it is for, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, so now I hit Claude, and boom, I'm running basically a terminal program. Now I'm going to choose dark mode just because I would like this to be easy to read, and I need to log in. So I'm going to log in, and now I have to copy this token to the Claude website and do that. So because I don't want to show you me logging into Claude, I'll probably black out the screen, but yeah, this is Claude. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. So I'm going to black out the screen. I'm just going to switch it over to this while I put my credentials in. So I put in my email, and now it's asking me to, and I'm not showing it, but it's asking me to click on a link on my email. So I got to log into my email as well. So just give me a second for that. I was logged in earlier, but I guess it logged me out. There we go. I didn't even ask for 2FA this time. So I logged into my email, and now I'm going on my email, and I'll show you really fast, I suppose, as part of the tutorial. But this is the link. You get a link here to, you gotta click that link to go into Claude and to log into Claude. So I click that link, and now I am in Claude. And so now that I'm here, I'm gonna paste this link there. Now I'm gonna hide it again because I'm not sure if any authentication stuff will pop up, but let me see. Nope, it's all good. So I got this window that popped up. It's asking me to authorize, so I'm gonna click authorize, and then it's gonna give me a code. I'm gonna copy this code, and it's a one-time code again, so it should be safe. So I'm gonna paste this code here, hit enter. Now I'm logged in, press enter again, press one more time, enter. And then it's asking me to authorize, say yes, and boom, you're ready to go. So, for starters, I can just, I can talk to Claude and ask it like, what is the capital of Nevada? I can do something like that, of course. And it'll interact and give me the answer, Carson City. But as you do this, I do want to point out something. So I'm going to hide my screen again, because again, for privacy, make sure nothing pops up. But I am going to go back into Claude for 1 second to show you something. So just give me 1 second to go back in Claude. Again, since this one's going to go on YouTube, I want to make sure I don't show anything personal. There we go. Okay. So I went into Claude, I clicked down here on my profile, I went to settings, and I went into usage. This is really useful to keep track of because with Claude, it's not like ChatGPT where you just use it forever. Claude limits your usage, even on the pro accounts. Even on the most expensive tiers, I think they even do that. So there are 2 usages. There's the current session and there's the weekly limits. The current session, like as you see, it's already at 2% because I asked the capital of Nevada. So it's a little bit aggressive with the usage. And once you hit 100 on that, it will stop working, and then you have a cooldown of about 4 to 5 hours, and then you get more usage. And then there's a bigger tier of usage, which is quite considerable, that resets weekly. So like what ends up happening is you do a project, you get close to 100, maybe you want to cool off and wait, let the usage reset, and then keep working on the project, and then keep track of your general usage. So when you're getting closer to the limit, you know that you have to wait a week to use it, or you just pay more money, right? You can also pay for extra usage by putting in your API. So that way, if you have a time-sensitive thing and you want to get it done, like if it's actually like for a business or something, then that actually might be considerable to do that. So any questions about that? Again, this might all change in like a week. I hope not, but it stays the same. Okay, so now let's try something basic like asking it to install something on the terminal, okay? And I don't know if Git is installed. So let's ask it, like, is Git installed? And I hope I don't run out of usage before I finish showing you everything. That's why I've been using it. So there's 2 ways to run Claude. The version I'm running right now is where every time you run it, if it's going to send a command to the terminal, it's going to ask you, it's going to show you what that command is and then ask you to confirm. This is the safe way because you're running commands in your computer. If you're running this on your machine, and technically speaking, Claude could like troll you and put like RMRF or something and delete your whole machine, right? So in theory, you should be reading these commands and making sure that like they are legit. However, you can also run it with the, I believe it's called dangerous exclusion or whatever, which is how I run it. I like to live dangerously, where I don't care what commands it runs because it's a VM that I just made. So what's the worst it can do? Like install a botnet and DDoS and have the FBI raid us or something? I mean, I don't know. It's fine. We'll blame Jesse or something. So it's fine. Well, I do have 2. So yeah, we can pen test it. Actually, it does get backed up, right? So we can restore it. Yeah, so we might nuke it. So it really doesn't want to look at me anymore. It's bad. Let me hear. Come on. Okay. So yeah, have you guys ever run it in the dangerous mode? right? You kind of have to. If you want to do serious stuff, it's running like 50 commands. You're going to hit enter yes every single time. So I'm going to do that in a second as well. But I want to show you the command version now so you see like what's happening. So as you can see, it's going to run the command git version, which should tell us if git is installed. Do you want to proceed? You can say yes. You can say yes and don't ask me more of the same command because it's not a dangerous command. Like git version is not dangerous. You're not going to nuke your machine by running the git version. So I'm going to say the second option. So it's going to run it. And yeah, it says git is installed. So I guess I need to install. Tell me something that is not installed by default that I could just install for the heck of it. Nano? Is Nano installed?
No, it's installed now. Python?
Python? Well, Python's probably installed too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but
Well, how about this?
Ruby. I don't know.
Let's do a little website. Let's ask it to just set up Nginx or something.
It should already be in. So.
Yeah, but if I go, let's try to check the port. So, what's the name of the server?
CS789.
CS789-1.cs.unlv.edu. Yeah, so there's nothing there right now. Okay? Hey, I am demoing you for my class. Can you set up a website that says welcome to CS789 in port 4? Well, that's SSL. Just do port 80. It's internal. In port 80. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We'll let it pick. Let's say we're not experts. We don't know what Nginx is. We know what Apache is. Well, I hope we do. So, again, right now it's not in the dangerous mode, so it's going to literally show me every command it's running. So in this case, I'm not going to walk you through everything, but you can see that this is HTML code, and it looks to be a very simple page that literally just says, welcome to CS789. I'm good with that, actually. And now it's writing it to a file called index.html, and then it's going to use, what is this? -m, I don't know, whatever. Now it's doing a curl to check if the server is up. So it's probably checking to see if the server is running. That's why it's running curl. It's checking to see if the port is open. So it's probably, so what's going to happen is it's probably going to run into some issues and it's going to try to debug itself. If it were to run into some issues. And you can see the token usage right there. Ah, requires sudo, which isn't available. Well, whatever, we won't give it sudo yet. We'll give it sudo in the next command. Let's see if it keeps trying. Okay, the website is not running on port 8080 because port 80 requires sudo. You can view it at localhost. So in theory, I don't think it'll be, I think it needs to open the firewall. What is that? Hey, this is a Linux server, and I'm trying to see it externally. Maybe you need to open the port. Can you check? Here is my sudo. I'm gonna give it sudo. I'm gonna give it sudo. Again, I will be changing the sudo. So. Have faith. I gotta make sure I give it the right sudo. MFAYAIATAZHHW. You gotta remember to change the sudo. Okay. We'll send. So as this is happening, if you go back to the Claude page, you can see the usage will grow. Now, if you know anything about LLMs, is that they use all the prior chat to build the next one. That's how they remember the context of things. So if you have a conversation for, like, including the question about Carson City, it's all in the same context. So that means that the next time that you ask it a question, it's refeeding all of that. So every time you ask a question, the amount of tokens will be bigger. So it's going to not linearly grow in terms of usage. To avoid that issue, once the context gets big enough, the AI will summarize itself. So it will shorten its memory, its context, to keep the token count down, to not burn through so many tokens. Okay, so now it's checking the firewall. Can you check what the command is for the dangerous mode of Claude? I forgot, it's like dangerous run or something. Just look up running Claude on dangerous mode. Oh, damn. There goes the local IP. It's fine. These servers will be taken down after the end of the semester or... Okay. It gave me an IP. So let's try, let's try this, the link that I have it, and if that doesn't work, we'll try the... There you go. Can any of you please, since you're on the Wi-Fi, check it and see if you can see it? You're good. I have to see it.
Oh, do you want the command?
Yeah. Did you see it?
Claude,
Yeah, this one. Can you put it here for a second?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so it's confirmed. So, boom, I just made a website. Of course, it's not very pretty, but I've proven you with the other website that it can do some pretty stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to the dangerous mode so I can be faster. So to exit, you do the / for commands, and then you type in exit. And then I'm going to rerun Claude, but this time I'm going to do -- dangerously skip permissions. Thanks. Okay, you can see. And rerun it. You say that you accept the responsibility. Great power comes great responsibility. And the cool thing is this. You can pick up on the last chat and keep going. So I can go to resume, and you see the history of chats, hit enter, and then back to the chat. So I can keep going on the same discussion trend. So this is useful if you are running out of tokens and you want to take a break, or you're just done for the night and you come back the next day and you want to keep developing on the same project. You can also have it, I could give it my Git repository, GitHub username and password, and I could have it push this to a repo. You know, if it's one back of my code for the website or something. So it's great. So now that we have a website, how about we scrape content from another website and put it there? So let's scrape from our own Delta V website. So I would like you to write a Python script I can run that will go to deltavdaily.com and pull the top article there, and then upload that text to the website you just made. That's pretty complicated. So I actually don't know if it will succeed on the first go. We'll see. So now, because we're in dangerous mode, it's not going to ask us for anything. It's just going to work. And it can take a while. It can take a few minutes to do it. But it'll do what you ask it. So you can do a lot of things like this. So it's telling you what it's doing, though. So you can see here, it says first it's going to check the structure of the website to understand it. So it's doing the same thing as us. It's inspecting the website. And then it's going to write a script to scrape the top article and update the website. You can see it's writing a fetch article.py. It ran into an error because it was trying to use the beautiful soup, and then it sees that it's not installed. So now it's installing the beautiful soup library. Now that it's installed, it's running the script. And as you can see, it found Star Trek Starfleet Academy cast members. Let's see what's on the website while it's running. You can see the top one says Starfleet Academies. So let me give you some context into that. I told you how that website works, right? It goes into other space sources websites, scrapes the data, feeds it to an LLM, who then paraphrases it and then publishes it, right? The problem is that sometimes those websites have ads, so it scrapes the ad as a news article and kind of spins it that way. So we have this Starfleet thing. I'm sure there was an ad about it. Actually, this could have been an article about this, but sometimes you'll see like Canon cameras. I'm like, okay. So yeah, so this one actually might have been a legitimate article. But yeah, let's see where it's at. So it's done. The script is ready. What it does is it fetches the top article from TWDaily.com, updates the website with the article type, content, and source link. Current article displays Star Trek Starfleet Academy. I run it using this command, and then I can see it. I don't know what that is. Looks kind of sketchy. That earlier task failed because I killed the previous server process, but no worries. The server is running fine now. We already verified. Who's we? But let's see. Boom. Now, what if I want to run that every 6 hours? I want to run it every 6 hours. That way, when you go home tonight, you can go, well, you need to be on the VPN. So when you come to campus tomorrow, you can check our little custom website there and see if the article changes. And I promise you, I'm not going to be the one doing that because I'm too lazy to go log in. I have way other things to do. So let's leave that. So can you set up some cron job or system service, or what do you call it? System STO? Daemon or something, to have the script run once every 6 hours to pull the latest article for me. Set it up all automatically, please. Of course, you should work on your prompt engineering, but you know, I'm just kind of relaxed vibe coding right now. So as you can see, it's doing a cron tab, which is what I would do because it's just a simple Python script. A cron job or cron tab is where it at boot or at a specific time, it will just run the command that you put there. It
needs a password again?
No, it remembers it. It's in its memory. See? I found it. It's still there. However, well, no, I highly doubt the script requires sudo, so yeah, but we do have to change the password. So this is extremely easy to do, and that's kind of what I'm getting to. Like, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we set this up and then we're up and running and using AI to develop things end to end. No more copy pasting. For those of you, I'm sure I asked you earlier, how many of you use ChatGPT? And I think pretty much everybody raised their hands in some sort of AI fashion. But what you guys are doing is you're going on the website, you're typing a prompt, you're copying and pasting that code, you're running the code, you're hitting the error, you take that error, you copy that error, you paste it on the website, you ask it to fix it, and you do this rinse and repeat 1,000 times until the thing works. No, you just ask it and have it do it by itself. It'll debug it, it'll do it, and boom, it's done. Like, cut out the middleman, which is yourselves. Let the AI do everything. Let's see how the usage is doing. We're at 13%. I actually need to do some things with Claude, with my Claude account, which I've been deferring. Who's that? Oh, it was a Gawali event? Let's turn the robot on and send it to them. Next time we turn the robot. All right. So it's still working, but yeah. Does anyone have any questions about how this is being used or how to use it yourselves? Do you? Because once we get the licenses, I want everybody to set this up and use it. Of course, right now, some of you have licenses, but you haven't never used this, right? You have Pro, but you've never used this, right? Anybody? Or all of you that have Claude have used the CLI? So nobody that has Claude Pro hasn't used this. Okay. There's another variant of this. There's Claude. So this is actually Claude CLI. There's Claude Code, I think it's called. It's a web interface. Again, I'm going to hide this for a second because I see what I show. But let me pull that up. Give me 1 second. Let me read these things, make sure there's nothing sketchy. Okay, there's nothing sketchy there. Okay, so if I go in here and I click code, I get this. This is pretty neat. It allows me to interact with my GitHub repository and do tasks. And these are ran on a server of sorts, maybe like a VM that Claude has, so that it tests things and runs things there. So like suppose that I wanted to develop a website, and of course I don't want to deploy the website, I just want to develop the GitHub code for it and then worry about deployment later. Like maybe you're on a car or something, and or you're on a plane or going somewhere, and you just want to develop, but you don't have access to the server. So you can just go in the browser here, write the prompt, select the repository, and then, well, either make a repository. No, I think you have to make the repository and then select it here, and then send it. But what's actually cooler is you can take an existing repository and then select it, so that Claude looks at the repository code and then can either do a change to it, can do a bug fix, can do an audit, can add a feature. So if you have an existing code base and you would like to expand it or change it, you can load it in with this and then do that. And then later on, when you're at home, you can test that GitHub code, or you can use Claude CLI to download it and run it from there. So that's Claude Code. However, if you have access to the server, you should be just running it directly. Okay, so this is done. It says all set up automatically, cron job, system service, status active, enable on boot. I'll restart if it crashes, running on port 80, runs at 12 a.m., 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. Has a log system, and it's up and running. So there you go. Any other things that you guys would like me to try out while I'm connected to the cloud? No, because now we want to see if it'll, the thing was great. But let's look at it on Thursday or Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah, we'll look at it on Tuesday. So, okay. If I see the code, I can take a look and see the code there. See? Usually what I recommend is that you give it your GitHub credentials so that it can push your updates after you finish. That's how I typically run the system for the Delta V website. So, yeah, like, I don't even know what else to say about it, actually. Well, I could log in, but it's just a bunch of code. So I guess for the video, yeah, let's look at this really fast. So again, this whole website was made with Claude. I simply created a brand new VM, literally the same as now, and I started just giving it prompts. And I started with just making I think I gave it some. So right now, of course, we're just having kind of a little bit of fun. But if you want to make something more serious, what you should be doing is you should be giving it some specifics about what you're trying to do and what architecture. For example, I said for this, like, I would like to make a React web project using which one I say? I don't remember actually, but certain packages for the website. It's the one that was part of the React shell, actually. But yeah, but anyways, I said make these specific packages, have the website run on Engine X, and I want to have a scraping aspect to this, so keep that in mind. I also want this to be modular so that I can add more things. I can have an admin page, be editable, expandable, don't hard code. I give it all these really long prompts, and I started building it piece by piece. So I think the first thing that I did was not the news part, but like the sub pages. Like I wanted to make agencies. So for the agencies, I went and said, okay, this is a one-time scrape. So go and scrape Wikipedia or other sources for these agencies, space agencies, and download them. And then it built this, right? And then I said, okay, I want these to be clickable with additional content, and then have them link to future articles. Actually, that came later. And so that's how I made all of these separate things. And now I'm not here to prove and show that like this is all 100% accurate information, but you can see it's things such as like the number of flight successes and everything, and all the rockets and launch vehicles and all of that. As it's building it, I said, "Hey, can you make a dictionary of complicated words that it finds on the article?" So it built that, and then finally, the hard part or the main part was the whole AI aspect of this. So I said, "Okay, I have these servers. This is the IP, the port, the token, the API, everything to be able to communicate to the LLM servers. Can you communicate and send it a prompt?" And then it gave me the potential prompt, and I tweaked that prompt to my preferences. Like it gave me a draft, and I said, okay, tweak the language of this. Like we want to have this hype rating and everything. And then it generated it, and then I looked at it. I said, okay, tweak it this way. So it's a back and forth, and because of the number of tokens before I hit the limit, I had to take pauses. So I did this over maybe a period of weeks because of that. Not because I was spending the weeks there, but because I had to have the cooldown. And of course, even if it renews every 4 hours, I'm not gonna come back every 4 hours. Like maybe I have time to do it once a day or something. Or and some days I can't. But most of this was over the. Actually, no, it was before the winter break. So yeah. So yeah, it's for example for the launches. This system where it tells you about upcoming launches. So it says like there will be a launch, or actually there was a launch. No, there will be a launch tomorrow at 4 a.m. from Florida. So that one, actually, by the way, is Artemis in here? It's not. Not because they don't have a date for that yet. But yeah, so Claude found online what would you call it? Like a service, a free service that like a community of space people have that they set up an API system to have rocket launch updates. So they're the ones that provide like these are the rocket launches that are coming up. So and they allow you to do API calls like 20 times per day maximum. So Claude found this resource, suggested it to me, and I said that's great, but I want to make sure we don't hit the max. So only pull 4 times a day from there to ensure we're under the 20. And so it did that. And then it implemented this as well. And I did run into a bug with this, but then I told it like, hey, it's not working, can you check? And then it looked through, found the bug, and fixed it and told me a report. It also, if you are aware, over the December, there was an exploit that was very dangerous, and we were affected, called React to Shell, where they were using React to gain access to the system using. They were able to access the terminal or a shell prompt. How do you call it? Basically, you access the terminal and you can run any commands you can. So they take full control of the server. And I wanted to make sure that this website was not affected by that. Fortunately, this version of the website was actually older than the one that was in the React to Shell. But I went in it did an audit check, it still pulled the updates and patches and has a system that will regularly check for updated patches. So what I'm getting to with this is that, yes, the AI did everything coding-wise, but the humans still need to know what to ask, what to tell it to do, to make the correct choices when it comes to design and security. Because I know not all of you are computer scientists, some of you are computer analysts, but remember, for the computer scientists here, You're not being paid to code. You're being paid to solve problems that you solve using code. So you're problem solvers. Your boss or your research director comes and says, I need this done. You need to figure out how to get that done. You're basically solving a problem, and then the code part is just extra. The AI's job is supposed to help you do the coding part, but you still need to solve the problems. When you try to make the AI solve the problems, so far, at least with certain level of complex problems, it's not very good at. That's where you still have a job. So just think about it that way. The AI is not going to do everything from scratch. You need to solve the logistic aspect of it, understand the nuances, solve the problems, and then use it to just execute what your solution to that problem is. Okay? So that's enough preaching. So any questions? Okay, so I will stop the recording so that we can talk about paper and stuff like that on Teams. Thank you all for watching. Are you ready to start live streaming? Maybe it wasn't live streaming. Maybe
That's what I was saying. I only had a download of 2 megabytes per second, and then like an upload of 13 megabytes per second. So
yeah. Well, it's